Today in the Auto Obsessive Garage, we welcome a new project car, but it feels more like an old friend dropping by. Let's check it out. Welcome back to the Auto Obsessive Garage. Chadwick with you again for the first installment of Project Mariner Blueberry. And that name gives a lot away. It is the paint code of this 1992 Mazda Miata you can see over my shoulder here. Also appears to be missing most of its suspension, but we'll get into that later. But honestly, I want to do an update because the prices on Mazda Miatas, especially the NA versions, or in any condition worth owning, has basically doubled from 3 to 4 years ago. And this is the first time that I've seen the Miata's value appreciating. So I think that's a worthwhile experiment to see what it's like to purchase one or to try to purchase one. The current date is 2021, it's the end of the year. The used car market's crazy across the board, but Miatas especially, wow, who saw that coming? So I want to walk you through, as a first-time buyer for a Miata, or someone going back to it like me, someone realizing they missed that affordable roadster experience, and it's got to be one of the best ones out there at any price point. So I'm going to walk you guys through what you should logically go through when you're hunting for your Miata, and what you should be doing first before you throw those awesome handling mods and performance mods at it. Because we all want to do that. We want to throw some aesthetic stuff at it, pretty it up a little bit. We want to make it handle better and maybe a little extra power. But there are some big things we should probably take care of. I know on this one there's a lot of big things we should take care of before we get there. Now keep in mind, I scooped this 92 Miata up for $4,800. No doubt about it, 3 years ago, this thing was probably worth $2,500. So that's just the way things are now. There are some pros, there are some cons. Let's go over it. Biggest thing is look at the issues. The good thing you can see is the paint's pretty fresh. It's had a recent paint job. Not the best quality paint, but I'll take that over regular old needing a new paint job, because Miata paint just doesn't last. So let's take a look at this car. It is fairly stock. We'll call it stock-ish, which is a great place to start. But I want to show you all the little issues and everything else about it and really get you intimate with this 92 Miata that we're calling Project Mariner Blueberry. Let's get in the garage and check this thing out, guys. I'd like to give you guys a tour of this car, show you exactly what I was able to get and kind of what you should expect to get now in 2021 with the used car market being insane, Miatas being more expensive than they've ever been by quite a large margin, and how hard it really is to find a clean one. Some basic facts right up front. This is a pretty high mileage car. It's over 200K, I believe. We'll check the odometer, but it does have paperwork supporting the new engine that was put in, and it's just another engine out of a 92, so it's also a 1.6, but it only has 82,000 miles on it. Obviously, it's dirty, but it has been resprayed with Mariner Blue. Paint could use a little work, but it is nice and clean overall. This has always been a California car, which is nice. So not bad. Body's pretty straight for the most part. I want to go over some of the known issues of this car. Obviously, these really cool Mazda Miata turn signals with the little intakes and lights are both broken even more just then. Are a little smashed up, so I've got some nice replacements to go in there. This car is pretty stock overall, guys, but there are some modifications that were done, tasteful modifications at the time. These are still very popular. As you can see, everything's looking pretty good. Down here, you do have aftermarket fog lights that we're gonna go ahead and pull those off, of course. The roof, not so good. There's a couple holes here and there. This tape in the back window, never a great sign when you see that on a car. So we are gonna put a new top on it, obviously. But everything else, pretty solid stuff. It does have those cool taillight covers that were kind of popular for a while, so those are neat.
I'll pop those off and see what's shaking underneath. It does have the mud flaps, which we'll probably have to get rid of those. I don't like them on there. I mean, they look horrible, but not my style. To the rims. So these are pretty rare. I couldn't find too much information online. They are BBS Pininfarinas. Check how cool the center cap is there. Just to get replacement center caps, so this is the only one that's got good color on it still. The rest are kind of faded. Those center caps are over $40 a piece, so that's interesting. These are nice wheels. They're pretty lightweight from what I've read, and they are 14 inches, so we're just gonna put some sticky rubber on it and call it good. I think they look great. I think the blue looks really good with the Mariner blue. So here you can see that center cap faded there. Windshield's good, no cracks there. So let's drop the roof and let me show you what's going on inside of this Miata. So stepping into the interior, things go from acceptable to really not acceptable. So first and foremost, seats are seen better days. Passenger has this definitely not accidental slice in it. I do have some covers I'm gonna put on, just a spoiler alert for that. But as you look around, pretty standard stuff, aftermarket radio. Yeah, that all looks good. Shift boot, totally shredded. Same with e-brake. Don't know what this felt pad is over here on the center console here, but we'll figure that out. Dash isn't cracked too bad. One crack there. This dash pad is just horrible. These ones tend to shred more, so it's got some big holes in it. Some, you know, it's pretty rough. We're gonna replace that, and I think I'm gonna wrap it. They sell these leather wrap kits that you can do, so I might do that. We're getting way ahead of ourselves. Everything works pretty good, so I can't complain about that. One of my favorite features, and I've just gotta show you this, these home theater speakers. Polk Audio, so at least it's a recognized brand. Let me get that right for you. These things, when you stop this car or go around a corner, they fly out. My first experience was having to brake on the highway, and this speaker just crushed my shoulder from behind. That is obviously coming out. Not something I really want in my Miata, especially unsecured heavy speakers behind the driver's head. You open the door here, you can see here the carpet's pretty rough. So this might be a candidate for a new carpet job. You can see some wires there going back to our home theater surround sound. And then some wires under the steering wheel. Don't like to see that, so we'll have to see what's going on there. Not really excited about that. But overall, interior's here, so we can celebrate that. It's about what you're gonna get, guys, for a 92 Miata. But some work to do nonetheless. Let's go ahead and check under the hood and see what we're dealing with. Popping the hood on the 92 Miata, you can see here that we do have a 1.6 liter BP engine with a lot of oil on the valve cover. That's beautiful, that's always nice to see. The engine does leak quite a bit of oil, as evidenced on my garage floor. So I see valve cover for sure on the sides. Looks like a lot of oil in the back, and I know there's, I believe it's the cam angle sensor. It's been a little while since I worked on a Miata like this. But I believe there's a cam angle sensor seal back there that just kind of spews, little O-ring. So we're definitely gonna be inspecting that, clearing that out if we need be. But what else is going on here? I mean, straightforward. Oh, super bonus on this car, guys. This was an original, no power steering, no air conditioned vehicle. So as you can see, very simple design layout. You can see just the crank going up to the alternator. Under there, sorry, there's a better view of the alternator. And the water pump. That's so easy. This is such a simple design, so I'm pumped about that, especially for making this lightweight. You can see here, there's all kinds of issues. I'm replacing all the hoses, which you should anyway. You can see a crack there on that hose, and who knows what else is in rough condition. So I'm actually replacing all the hoses under here. No doubt there. There's the usual Miata dipstick broken off. Over here you can see the factory headers. So I do have the heat shield for that. So everything else looks pretty decent under here, not gonna lie. Pretty clear, pretty straightforward. Obviously the oil is gonna be something. They put this 82,000 mile motor in, apparently. They did timing belt and water pump at that time, but they might have skipped over the cam seals. I'll have to see where that oil is coming from. So again, not a bad engine to work on. It's super easy to access everything. So not too bad under here, guys. This is what you wanna see. You don't wanna see something too heavily modified. Straightforward, and everything's super accessible because it doesn't have a lot of features. Good stuff. Another interesting thing I wanted to show you guys. Let's pop up and down some headlights, shall we? Boom. So it has also the Mazda Miata, and you can see some awesome overspray onto these lights, but it has the Mazda Miata quad headlight design, or the modification, and that's pretty cool, but I am gonna set it back. I like the big old eyes, so I'm gonna go back to factory. So that is quite a conversion. I think I gotta switch out the back plate and some other stuff, so we'll see how easy that is. If not, maybe I'll keep them. They are kind of cool looking, so we'll see. Like I said, it did have some period correct stuff. What do you guys think overall? Not bad for trying to find a somewhat stock NA Miata in 2021. So I'm hoping, really hoping, let me put these headlights down until I decide if I like them or not. I'm really hoping to show this project. I want to show you the checklist to make your Miata a good Miata. So I'm going to go through maintenance, of course, first. You definitely have to address these oil leaks, brakes, steering wheel shook quite a bit when braking. So we're gonna do some new brakes on. First thing you gotta do is make your car reliable and safe, right? Oh, something else I wanted to show you guys that's pretty funny. This stuff, you gotta share this fun stuff you find when you buy a car. You can see wires hanging out of the back of the driver's seat and on the passenger seat too. This has been wired aftermarket for speakers in the headrest. So I'm gonna take those out in the name of weight reduction. But I did think that was extremely funny. I've never seen that before. I know the later models came with headrest speakers, but apparently you can just jam, I bet there's a regular car door speaker in there. Maybe a home theater speaker to match this. Maybe the 2 rear speakers. Just waiting for the subwoofer to pop up somewhere. Oh, this is hilarious. Anyway, we can laugh because it's all crap I gotta deal with. Quick tour of the exterior, engine bay and interior. Next step, let's pop the car up and see what kind of scary stuff is waiting for us there. We've got the Miata up on the quick jack. Time to go look underneath and see what kind of nightmares await us. Now I want to show you guys why I say tires are super important when you're buying a car, especially a cheaper car. This kind of stuff is quite dangerous. Look at the dry rot on the tread of this tire. Yeah, not good. Oh, here we go. 2003. Yeah, that's an 18-year-old tire. Cool. I mean, just look at the dry rot. It's even in the tread grooves down in there. Yeah, it's not a safe tire, guys. This is why, no matter what, you want to check all your tires, make sure everything's good, make sure it's drivable before you even think about putting some mileage on your car. Speaking of checking your tires, look at this. I don't know if you guys know, but I got a heck of a deal on some racing slicks. This is just not good, guys. This is not good. So yeah, it's tire time. And here's the tread on the rear tire. Obviously you can see super worn and a good flat spot right there. Yep, this car sat for a while. That's what the flat spots will tell you. But boy, this thing is just, it's nearly a racing slick back here. Oh gosh. Yep, definitely need some grip. And this is something I've never seen before. This is a Auto Guard tire. Never even heard of that brand, but check this out. Look at this chunking back here. There is significant chunking there. And then in other spots too, the tread is just kind of popping off. Yes, this is why I always recommend brand name tires. Sorry, Auto Guard. So I'd say this is a tire condition 1 out of 10 car, but we've got some good rubber we're gonna be putting on this bad boy. Okay, so we're in the trunk of the Miata and you can see it's pretty gnarly in here. Looks like you got some water in here, so we're drying that out. Overall, everything's here, which is neat. You got your little protector shield for the fuel filler hose. Over here is where things get a little sketchier. You see a lot of wires. Clearly there was a sound system at some point. We're gonna back trace all those wires, pull them out. The battery is held in with a tie down strap, a rubber one that's kind of keeping it corralled over there. That's not legit. And there's some crazy stuff going on with the positive terminal. So yeah, we're gonna pull this battery out and see what the heck's going on here. It is an AGM battery, which is pretty nice. So yeah, let's find out. There's a lot of wiring mishap going on over here. Oh boy. Well, let's go ahead, put that on our safety item list. We need to probably get that resolved. I don't like the idea of losing battery power when we're driving a vehicle. Been there, done that. Not super fun. All right, friends, time for one of the scariest places to look on a vehicle you just purchased, the underneath. Oh yeah, we're coming down here. No big surprises, lots of oil to be found. Let's adjust my light a little bit so you can see a lot. Now, going up, I did see it coming right from under the valve cover, so that'll be one of our first places to address. Again, I'm a huge fan of just totally cleaning all this down, wiping it, making sure all the oil's clean.
cleaned off. So if we do have any more leaks, you will see those new leaks and where they're coming from. And it is really good back here. You can see here on the oil pan and all the way back, the transmission's coated. Good times. Some things I do want to draw your attention to. Suspension components and steering components of the car. One thing I do want to note is this sway bar up here, which you can see coming down here, is adjustable bar. So that's kind of a bonus, and it looks like it has racing beat bushings holding it to the car. When you get to the end though, you do see the OEM style end links that are completely shot. You can see there that the end links are roughed up. Continuing with that theme, the outer tie rod, and you can see here the bushing is completely shot. The tie rods are definitely worn out, so that'll need a replacement. That's a safety concern for sure. You can see the upper control arm there where it comes out, and I'm really just pointing to the primary bushing there that's completely ripped open. That's not good condition for an upper control arm. So what we're gonna need to do is replace these upper control arms. You can buy them. They're not too expensive, and they do come with all new bushings. So it'll come with the new bushings that are connected up here on the inside, and then the outside major bushing will also be replaced. So a lot of suspension stuff to address. You can see a bonus here too is that shock is blue. Those are Takiko HDs, a classic Miata suspension component. You can still find them. They're hard to find, but you can see these red springs up here. Those are indeed racing beats. I found the logos on them. So this thing at one time was sorted pretty well. Now these Takiko blues are completely shot. They're ancient. So that's what we got under the car. Actually, nothing too scary to tell you the truth. Some worn suspension stuff, a lot of oil to address, but overall, not too shabby.